and this is Lawn Care Skull Sessions with my co-host, the bearded lawnsman.
What's going on, dude?
Had a good week.
Yeah.
It's been busy, but not overwhelming. Just being able to sort of relax from the weekend's events has sort of just been kind of nice.
Yeah.
Not having to, obviously we've all got responsibilities that we need to carry on. But just with a little bit less stresses.
Yeah, nice.
So, it turns out I do have other stresses because we're running out of stock of like everything.
That's a good problem to have. That means that you're fucking selling a lot of stock. So.
Yeah, we had a sale which went really well. And so it's always good, but you never know really. I mean, with stock, you never know what's going to go and what's not. So
yeah,
it's all about monitoring it.
Yeah, it's all sort of like a waiting game. Once it's here, then you got to try and get it back out again.
Yeah, and then, trying to get the Americans to be like, yeah, okay, we'll sell you something.
Oh, man. Yeah, we had a crazy week. Obviously, the come down from the weekend was like, had me pumped. We announced 3 more shows.
Yes.
I picked up a few new acreages. So, I've been running this week, which has been awesome. I don't know, just keep those good vibes rolling.
So just quickly, for those who aren't on LMCA, there is going to be 3 shows next year, locations.
So we got
or at least states.
Melbourne, Sydney, and Bris Vegas. So Bris Vegas event, the venue that we had it at has already confirmed that it's fine. We can do it there again.
See you at the Poity?
Yeah, at the Poity Acres. They don't have any plans for that land yet, so it's all ours.
I got plans for that land.
Yeah, dude. I got people scouting in Sydney and Melbourne too. So I got some good people behind me, and they're going to help me put it all together. And we're going to support the Children's Hospital. So it's either the Monash or I'm not 100% sure which one we're going to do in Melbourne, because a few people close to me have had things at the Monash, and then I think they have a Royal Children's Hospital as well. So we'll look after Sydney Royal Children's there and Queensland Children's up here in Brizzy. So
stay tuned, audience, because 12 months, probably not 12. But,
yeah, I think we're going to probably space them a month apart.
Yeah, so 9-10 months time, it's on again.
But yeah, speaking to everyone, fucking people are just absolutely pumped. So all the suppliers that basically were at the one that has just gone have already signed up. They're all good to jump on, which, it's only 5 days from the last one. So I've just been on the phone straight away. I was like, hey, got something for you to do next year. They're like, yeah, sweet. Send us an email.
And does this event have a name yet?
I'm not going to lie. That's probably the hardest thing, to come up with a name that's going to stick and that we can use moving forward.
I've just been calling it BJ's event.
I don't think that's going to go too well. BJ event on the flyer. People might come rocking up in bondage and
with their mouths
with their fucking chapsticks in hand. But no, definitely we're thinking of a name. We've got a few going. But yeah, it's fucking hard, man, because a lot of names are taken. I would love to just rip the GIE off, because they ain't using it no more.
Yeah, it's a perfect name.
It really is.
So, maybe GIEA.
Yeah.
Green Industry Expo.
AGIE.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Australian Green Industry Expo. Some dog will be like, fuck this, I'm stealing the domain name to that straight away.
Yeah, maybe keep it on the hush.
They might fucking beep that out when
Dogs
I go to edit town.
So today's episode is brought to you by our mate at Mower Merch and our good friends at Skag Australia.
Hell yeah.
We'll sort of get onto some topic stuff shortly. But any other news this week?
Oh, look, man, I wanted to announce this via video, but this is as good a place as any. I sold my turfey. So
yes.
Turf Tiger's gone, Cheetah's in. So obviously it's not mowing season, so I've only put 5 or 6 hours on it. It was there on the day, and again, Skag looked after me, and they sold my turfey for me too, which was good. So Yeah, man, I can't wait for the mowing season to hit and then, get some experience on it, find out what I like, if there's anything I don't like, obviously, give them the feedback. But yeah, man, it's a nice machine. And that Mac Daddy seat, like I've always said I wanted that Mac Daddy seat.
Yeah, I didn't get a good chance to suss it all out. Obviously, there's just heaps happening, but
It's got friendship lights too.
you're really surprised about how much action my V ride got.
Yeah. Until it got a flat tire.
Oh, it had a flat tire the whole time. I
Oh,
think.
no way. Yeah, well, there's videos. I did like a quick video with Gary Ashton, and he posted it up on LMCA last night, and all he could see is like someone just driving past behind me on my 32 and then like driving back the other way. I was like, all right, sweet.
Yeah. I just know, like, I think one of my girls was maybe doubling one of her friends. You just see one of the wheels rim rocking on the B ride.
Oh, shit.
So
No, we have to get some of that goo from GA.
yeah, I don't know why I haven't done anything about it. I just it's it's pretty much just a marketing mower now.
Yeah. No, well, that's fair enough.
So
I mean, what's a bit of air between friends? You just pump her up when you need to take a pic?
well, it had a flat batto before.
And what about my Tiger Cat? So the night before, I'd filled all the machines up with fuel, and I was like, "Here we go. I'm good. I'm getting out of here. Go home, chill out before the big bang." And I've left the fucking key on the Tiger Cat on auxiliary, and it's just fucking cooked the battery.
Rookie mistake.
And it was a brand new battery too. Oh fuck me. So what do you do, mate? All these little things.
Send Will down there
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
with Catch Pro jumper leads.
Yeah. Well, there's a few funny stories about those jumper leads. The bloke from Ego left his keys on too, and he fucking ran out of juice. So that was a good one.
That was a good one. So today, bit of a weird topic or at least a discussion. I saw a thread on LMCA about people mowing or whippersnipping first, and it was really funny to me because I was looking at it and I was thinking, like, surely people in the industry know this.
Yeah.
And obviously, we all run our own businesses. We can do things however the hell we want, but there really is purpose behind, the reason why people. I'm just gonna say it the right way.
Okay.
It's what I believe, and if other people don't believe it, well, go and fuck yourself. But no, I mean, hey, we can rattle off some of these things, and look, I think some veterans in the game are probably like, come on, man, we know this. Talk about something else. But look, I mean,
there's heaps of newbies coming. Like, I met like 5 or 6 newbies on the day that listened to this podcast. So, like, I haven't had no idea that we had so many guys that aren't even in the industry yet, but they're dabbling. So they've obviously joined LMCA, or they've been looking for something to do with the lawn and garden industry, and they found us and they've jumped onto us. So
yeah, and it goes, so much further than just whippersnipping before mowing. There's heaps of on-site procedures, when you're talking about works, that if you do them in the right order, it'll actually make the next task easier.
Yeah.
But before we get too far into it, we do have...
oh, nice.
We've got one review.
We got one new review. This is from Hazardous Jim. 2 of you create a good podcast that any Aussie can listen to and enjoy. Keep up the great work. That's a 5-star from Hazardous Jim. Thank you very much. Is that Jim? You reckon? You reckon he's got like a gangster alter ego?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, just shooting it there. Maybe.
Imagine seeing him in here.
Who knows? Have you heard the transcripts from, Rudy Giuliani? He's in big trouble, man.
Was he like the who's he again?
He was the
he was the
governor of New York. He
was
like the dude who stomped out the mafia, and he was the dude that was like, melting. Remember his hair? He was like sweating, and the black dye in his hair was just like running down his face.
I only know him because the rappers used to
mention
him.
Dude. Trust me, if anyone's listening, listen to your mum's house podcast. You can jump on YouTube and find it. But fuck me, like some of the stuff that dude says is gangster. Like he's talking to this chick who worked for him, and he's like, "Those are my tits. Let me claim my tits." He's just full fucking going off, like, and they've got him recorded, like voice recorded. That's bad. That's so bad.
I feel so sorry for some of these key figures that, you know,
Oh, but he
secretly
raped
get
her too,
taped.
so fuck that guy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's never good. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember seeing something with Trump where he's being recorded. There's no visual. And he's just like, yeah, you know, like I just walk in and these girls just, you know, they just want to fuck me. And, you know, it's like,
Grab him right on the pussy.
yeah, you know, and it's like, man, let this dude speak. Like,
Yeah.
don't, you know, I mean, it's not right.
No. It's locker room. Like he didn't expect to be recorded.
Nah, it's fucking dog act, man.
I wonder what, like, if women record each other when they're on the piss or something.
Yeah, like all I wanted to do was just like put it around my mouth.
I can just imagine Lou.
Man,
Oh,
Sheilas are just as dirty as dudes. Like
Lou would just be like, lucky he's got a good personality. I think that'd crush me more than anything.
So quickly, let's talk about the lawn shed, mate.
Yeah, dude.
We've seen a few orders come through.
Yep.
And it's great to see people be able to get supplies and get the things that
100%.
they need at a great price.
Yeah, mad props to Matthew Slade. He won the $1,000. He sent through a
that's
picture of
right,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
so they hooked him up. Fuck, he got a lot of stuff for $1,000.
Oh, you'd get a lot for a thousand.
Yeah, so good on him, man. You did well. Yeah, thanks to Ian and the Lawn Shed. You guys have been awesome. And yeah, if you're gonna go along and get something from the Lawn Shed, make sure you sign up. That way you get your trade discount. You click that you heard it here on the Skull Sessions with Benny and BJ, and yeah, you'll get your discount, your trade discount. So,
And if you click that you heard it anywhere else, BJ's going to give you a clothesline from hell.
and Ben's going to be in the background commentating.
Yep. He's broken in half.
Oh my god.
So, all right, let's talk about this on-site, you know, procedures or, you know, I mean, look, it's not really about procedures. It's more about...
It's like a timeline of a lawn, basically from start to finish.
Yeah. So now, like, when
Or a property, like, because we, you know, a lot of people just focus on lawns and they have their system and they think that it works, but some people do it like backwards to the way I would do it, and
some of the Yanks do it backwards.
yeah,
eh?
they do, don't they?
Some of the fucking lazy bastards don't even bip a dip.
They just mow real hard.
You know, like they talk about like, oh, you know, we're working so hard, blah, blah, blah. Man, none of those dudes would hack it over here, eh?
Fucking hell.
So, you know, like I think I saw one of Brian's videos and he's like, oh yeah, it's edging week. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
they only trim every second week or something.
what the fuck is edging week?
Yeah, no wonder. Like,
Sometimes I give my place a little friendship whippersnip in between mows.
oh, do you?
Just like
Just grab it out, just bippity bip bip.
the reason being at my property is I don't have a proper lawn.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
I've got half an acre and there's fucking weeds and all sorts of shit everywhere. So like you can mow and it looks great for a day or two. And as soon as all the random weeds start, and it's not like stuff that's easy to control either. It's like full on haggis like paspalum or, you know, and I'm not prepared to do anything about it because we're getting landscaping and works done.
Yep.
So it
And how
drives,
much-
it drives me up the wall.
It's so nice when it's like crisp. All your lines are like cut in nice, and it's, you know, when you do a good job. I mean, I've seen some fucking abortions. But
Oh man, I got fucking ski jumps everywhere in my place.
what
Like,
about the fucking ones where there's a trench about 6 to 12 inches wide?
oh yeah.
I was like, well, that's a BBC
Like a
length
little
of fucking-
bowling alley
Yeah,
gutter ball.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, gutter ball. Fuck. Maybe that's for the kids. Maybe that's a safety feature for your yard. You can just trench out behind the gutter so your ball, like your kids' ball, don't fucking roll onto the
I
road.
tell you what, for anyone who's got minced ankles like me, it is a fucking hazard.
Yeah.
You think you're going to just step on a regular part of the lawn, next minute, fucking your ankle's up halfway up your shin.
My tendons.
Yeah, nah, It's all of my bones, my ankle. So, all right, getting back to it. So, BJ, if you're doing a regular lawn, like, have you ever thought to yourself, okay, let's fucking mow this first before we bip dip?
Fuck no. No way.
And reasons being, this, I know just, like, I'm obviously outdated. Like, so many people aren't actually catching
Yeah.
in these scenarios, and let's try not to hug that too much. But,
Yeah.
like, for me, I think when you whippersnip first, if you got like a fence line, you're whippersnipping along a fence, leaves fall down and debris gets caught up.
Yep.
Now, if you're walking backwards with your whippersnipper, which is also the correct way to do it, the whippersnipper is going to be flinging all this debris into the middle of the yard for you. Now, I don't know.
Even with mulching, you need that because you're not going to get that mower hard up against the fence line. If you're shooting it the opposite way and it's shooting towards the fence.
Well, if you're mulching, it doesn't matter anyway because you just...
Yeah, but you don't want fucking big chunks. I mean, sometimes... Oh, no, we're going to get into it again.
No, we're not. We're not.
But I get it. I get what you mean. Like,
I mean, look, maybe I was just more particular. Like, at Scrub Road, so we had when BJ first started, I had a contract, which he now runs anyway. But the BJ used to come in 2 days a week and help out at the site, and we used to just go nuts on these hedge trimmers. So 3 guys for 2 hours, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And which, by the way, is a fuckload of hedging.
Huge.
That's one person, 6 hours.
Yeah.
Then we'd cut sick on the snippers, and then 2 of us would jump on backpack blowers. And we were so particular there that, when you do have that little trench from your edges, it would fill up with leaves.
Yeah.
The wind be blowing everything around.
Yeah.
And I remember we used to go around with the blowers and get all of that shit out of there because it's just not the same. Like, you can mow and yes, areas look fresh, but it looks half done.
Yeah, because the edges are full of, old leaves and fluff from the lawns, especially on the bits that we used to flatten. So, the boys still do it now. Like, that's how I taught them. Like, you flatten, shit will build up in the edges, and then you just, when you backpack blow it, just go over it hard and get rid of that shit out of the edges. Because it does. It looks kind of trash.
And we'll go back to the infamous Indian that tried to give me a lecture. First you bip, then you blow, then you mow.
Hey.
And it is the perfect formula.
It is. He's fuck it. You should make a t-shirt.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about gimmick t-shirts.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I mean, yeah, some of them are alright for a laugh.
Yeah.
So I think the same goes, like, if you've got like a huge big weeding job, it's not like you go and spray it first and then come through and hand weed.
No.
Usually you do, if you are hand weeding, you do all that hand weeding. Sometimes, if you're being a little tricky, get the dipper out.
Yeah.
Hit them weeds down. And then you spray the remainder.
Yeah. With us, we'll pull the big ones and we'll do everything else. Sometimes we'll just pull the big ones out and toss them on the lawn. And then...
like those Karens at the job. Hey, the mowing contractors are coming in.
Yeah,
fucking
throw a bunch of shit out.
Rubbish out.
It's fine when I do it, but, I'm cleaning up my own mess. I don't want to fucking clean
I
up
do it in
yours
my
too.
own yard.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'll throw the big ones out on the lawn and then do everything I need to do. And then the last thing I do is spray.
Well, it has to be the last thing you do.
Yeah.
So when you are doing big hedging jobs, do you prefer to hedge or do any snipping first?
Hedging first always, for the simple reason
always.
It's
always. I know
you'll be at my show. Pretty much the same reason as shooting shit from the fence line out. You can do the same with hedging and it reduces blowing and blah blah blah.
We have a funny childhood story about that song. Hey,
Oh, do we?
Remember, I won't use any names. One of our mates had his first little interaction
Oh,
with a girl.
Really?
Where I'll try not to get too explicit, but where he was using his fingers for the first time. And it had come out somehow. This is just goes to show how fucked up teens are,
Yeah.
right? There was thought that maybe he had played with himself a little bit first and then gone in for it and somehow potentially impregnated with no intercourse. Remember the line from the song?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, I don't. What is it?
So someone, I
Tell
don't
me about- say it.
I don't want to sing it.
Sing it.
Um,
Do you need some background music?
Say it ain't so, and then it's his name.
Yeah.
Did blow. Turn the lights off. Fingered her hole.
I
Do you remember
100%
that?
was not around for that.
Okay, yeah, we might have been a bit young.
Yeah, that was way back in the day. I was not around for that. I was like waiting for something to click.
I'm trying to think about
Like, was I
obviously-
blackout drunk? Like, that happened a lot.
I'm trying to think because obviously, how old's Chloe now?
She's 12.
Okay,
13,
still a bit
sorry.
young.
Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
things were happening when you were
Fuck, man.
14
You
or
look at the
15.
local pages and fucking kids are burning down fucking buildings and shit at 13. Like, the fucking world is going crazy. Discipline your fucking kids.
Anyways, let's get back to the program.
Yeah. That's enough about bum fingering. Oh, wait. Is that not how you do it?
The bum finger?
Yeah, have I been doing it wrong all this time?
No, but there was a good one about that.
That
too.
was a good one. That one I was around for.
In fact, we even renamed, remember the 007 Goldfinger?
Yeah,
we just
named-
renamed that whole game
Bum
Bumfinger.
finger.
All right,
Oh.
where are we? Back to procedures.
Yeah. Procedures. Hedging. We were on hedging.
Yeah, and look, the theory behind hedging first is when usually hedges are along perimeters or garden edges,
Yeah.
all of this stuff. And so what we always did when we had lawns with hedges or jobs with hedges where you were mowing as well. If you're not mowing when you're doing like hedge jobs, then a lot of this stuff, might go sort of out of the window.
Yeah.
I just always hated doing hedging jobs, big hedging jobs where there wasn't any mowing involved later.
Sometimes I've thrown mowing in for free because it's just an easier cleanup.
I did it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah,
I always
I
did
just-
it. And you know why as well? Because like I would just get head fucked over seeing like all of like these beautiful hedges that you trimmed. And then like if you are sort of like doing a hedge on a garden bed,
Yeah.
and then the edges need doing, and like it was just the way that my mind worked. Like I couldn't appreciate the job unless
Yeah.
the whole space was clear.
Bro, I've always said I'll mow it as well. But I always say I'll mow it for free and I'll just charge it in the fucking hedging
course.
quote anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a
it's
part
cool. As soon as someone hears that you're going to mow their lawn for free, they're just like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll give it to me.
finger your hole
I'm
first.
just like, yeah,
Blow on your
you are,
fingers first.
yeah, you are paying for it, but yeah,
So, I think when most of the time, hedges are against fences.
Yeah.
and hedge clippings fall down. You obviously rake up the bulkiness.
Yeah.
But you just got that leaf matter that won't go away. When you whippersnip it and then blow the fence line and mow it all up, it just gives that clean, fresh look.
yeah.
I think it sets the standard. It sets you apart from people who, aren't going to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, because when you rake anyway, if you're raking on a lawn, like you're pulling up fucking shit anyway. Like you're pulling up, it
Yeah,
looks like ball gruff. It's just like all these little fucking hairdos halfway through the lawn. It's
Alfalfas.
Like, alfalfas. That's what we
Yeah.
used to call them.
We are the podcast of gimmick names, aren't we?
Yeah, we really are. I tried to get on Paul Jameson's podcast. I tried to get him to start Bipper Dipper.
Yep.
Fuck, he just was like, nah. just
It's like, oh, BJ.
yeah. Oh man, he just gave me nothing. Like he cut a lot of our fucking conversation out too.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. He's like, yeah, we've been speaking for an hour now. I was like, why are the episodes fucking 20 minutes each? After ads. But you know, I'm not their typical, you know,
Well, I
typical
don't
guy.
actually listen to his podcast, so I'm not really sure. His podcast is all like about a me podcast, right? Isn't it just him?
Yeah,
loving
no,
himself?
look, he's pretty cool. Like I've met him, and I think the novelty for him was like, I mean, every time I speak to someone from the US, which it doesn't apply to a lot of the people I met from up north. Like when I went to Skag and stuff like that, a lot of them were talking about places in Australia. But when I spoke to him, he just had no idea. And he admitted it straight away. He's like, I know nothing about Australia. It's like, well, fucking, we're like one of your closest allies. Like we hang out back in behind the scenes together. Like, how do you not know anything about Australia? Like nothing, no beaches. I was like, have you heard of the Gold Coast? He's, nope. Have you heard of Bondi? Nope. I was like, what do you know about Australia? He's like, kangaroos?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I was watching a video, an Instagram reel of these two Aussies in the middle of the ocean. And I haven't told this story, right?
Nah.
And there must have been this fucking huge great white. Like it was
Yeah.
a massive fucking shark. And they're just in like, it didn't look like a big boat at all.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're just chin wagging like normal Aussies. And one of the dudes goes like, oh, Jesus, fuck me, Christ. And the other one's like, nah, fuck me, I've had enough. And like, for me, it was normal. Like I was like looking at, and for some reason I just happened to go into the comments and there was just so many Americans that were just cracking up and they're like writing it out and they're like, Jesus, fuck me, Christ is like my new thing that I'm gonna say. And they're like, oh man, if the Aussies are fucking, you know, scared about something, then it must be like full mad terrifying.
Yeah.
But it's just funny as hell. And like I said, when I talked to Corey, I mean, he doesn't know fuck all about Australia as well. But when I physically talk to him on the phone, you could just hear him giggling so much. Like he's just like, what?
It's so different, man. And like fucking sidebar again, like we were driving the other day and someone pulled out in front of us, and out of everyone to start like a catchphrase in our family, you'd think it'd be me. But like obviously I was like, what the fuck? And in the back, little fella obviously is at parroting stage and he goes, oh my fuck. And I was just like, everyone, because we have a blanket rule, you do not react. Don't react if he's like, coffee is a bad word or something. Do not react. We don't want that shit. We like don't want him to go and say something, because back in the day, like Chloe was having a shower with me when she was like 4, and I farted in the shower, and so she went to kindy and fuck me dead. Like she told everyone that I pooed in the shower and I wouldn't let her out. And my
You can
wife
get busted for that shit now.
My wife had to go in and have a meeting with them and explain what actually happened. And I farted in the shower and it reeked. It probably smelled like I'd shit in the shower. But yeah, that's how kids twist stories. And
Oh man, I am seriously the worst parent, eh? Like, I don't know where it came from, but the other day Mia called her twin sister a son of a bitch.
oh,
And when I heard it, I was thinking like, no one said that since the 80s anyway.
yeah.
Who the hell calls someone a son of a bitch? And, you know, Vicky's looked at me and before I could even think about parenting, I just had to get my lols out. It was fucking hilarious. Macy, stop it, you son of a bitch.
Oh God. It's funny too. Like,
So it's funny how we have no influence on the Americans, but they have so much influence on us.
so much.
Like I remember Nelly getting dressed one day and she's like, are we going to the mall? And I'm like,
Yeah, where did the R come from? The long R's.
our whole family literally dropped to the floor. Like,
Yeah.
who the fuck goes to the mall?
Yeah. That's like Archer.
Go to the fucking shops, eh?
Because he like only on YouTube, he's only just started to watch Spidey, like the cartoon Spidey, like the bobblehead Spidey. And he also has like just all this, like educational shit.
Have you ever done a Spidey before?
No, not yet.
All right, we won't talk
One
about
day.
We won't talk about Spidey.
Lou's getting her eyebrows done
Let
today,
us
so
know.
tonight's not a good time to do it.
Let us know if you know what a Spidey is.
Anyway, I fucking I'm like when Lou was away in Adelaide with Chloe, I'm cooking shit that I love, and I love like capsicum and like cooking all these veggies and stuff. And he picked up a capsicum and he's like, "Hey, Dad, this is a red pepper." And I'm like, "No, it's not." And he's like, "This is a red pepper." And you can like hear, he's just like this exact same tone. I'm like, "Bro, that's a capsicum." He's like, "It's a red pepper." I'm like, it's a capsicum, man." And he's like, "It's a red pepper." And he's just like having an argument with a fucking 3-year-old. Like, you'd never win. He's just you can't teach me the same way that YouTube can teach me, son.
So getting back.
Oh yeah, where the fuck were we?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be the theme of today.
Yeah, well.
So is there a situation where you would mow before you bip? Because there are situations for me.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So on new acreage properties, I will, where there's not an obvious amount of snipping, I will mow and see what I can get away with. Because the less you have to snip, like the quicker the job will be. So obviously, like,
and so this is so that you don't overcompensate, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if I don't have to, if we're hitting corners, I don't have to snip a massive big corner out. If I can snag it with the mower, like I'm going to cut down my times. So
and this makes sense, I think with larger properties and acreages, because like I know, look, even sometimes, I won't say on complexes, I don't think it makes sense there. But if you've got a guy like Rusty, so like pretty much everyone that I trained, and I got this from Tyson.
Yeah.
So people that he trained, which is a lot of people in the industry, right? When you start going through everyone. I've noticed we're all big overcompensators with the whippersnipper.
I've walked in and quoted lawns to mow, and I'm just like, fuck that. Just take the whippersnipper in and just
Mate, I've seen fucking Rusty, right?
Yeah.
At whole zones. So this is like a whole street at a complex. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, we'll both do the hedging. And I'm like, Russ, jump on the bip, and I might start sort of blowing some of the hedge clippings while he's snipping.
Yep.
And then, eventually I'll come through with the mower. And you sort of get down there with the mower and you're like, dude.
Yeah.
Like there's, you're doing fuck all because he's hit so many big areas. Yeah. And look, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's not the most efficient way to be doing. Sometimes it's efficient.
It's funny too. If you've got like a good operator on a whippersnipper, it leaves a fucking delicious finish.
Well, the big issue, like I've had issues with some of the young fellas where they were going way too hard. And then when you come through mowing, obviously you're on a different level.
Yeah.
And really the art to it is like you can go lower, but it needs to be like, if you go get a haircut and you're getting a fade or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. It needs to gradually fade into the rest of the
Yeah.
So,
you find that when people are learning, you'll get these edges that are fucking carved in, or some flattening around a property.
That's the build.
And then you got to try and match that. So normally when I'm teaching people, I'll let them do their thing. And then, if I've mowed and I can see a difference, then I'll come back and I'll explain like where we need to be, and we'll blend it, because you can fix it. Like you can fix it to where it's acceptable.
It's easy to fix after the fact, but what I might do is explain to the audience what we mean about flattening.
Yeah.
Because BJ and I have our own internal
lingo.
Yeah. And really what we mean about that is like if you've got an area that needs to be mowed and you've got someone else on the bip and they're cutting in the edges, and they're hitting the corners and flattening those corners out so that when you're, doing your strips with the mower, You know, you don't have to make such hard turns, or you don't have to be so particular.
Yeah.
In mainly the corners.
Yeah, corners are.
Or around obstacles. You know, if you got like trees,
Yeah.
instead of and also back to the trenches as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's always. I know when new people start, they're like, if you know, like if they put their wheels in that trench, it's gonna fucking
It's game over.
Yeah, it's gonna scalp real hard. And
You're
if
going to
on
do
a
windows. You're going to do fucking all sorts.
no, but it's gonna scalp the shit out of
Yeah.
the lawn, man.
Yeah.
So if you are coming through and softening all of those perimeters, then you just don't need to be as particular with the mower.
Mm.
And
It's helpful though.
like you can overcompensate a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's helpful until you actually look at how long it took you to snip.
That's the thing too. So if you're on a 2-acre property and you're like, all right, do the
I saw
hard
a
yards.
Cox car drive past.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Cox Ute was up here. I saw Gravely. What the fuck's going on? There's only 3 houses up the other end of your street or something.
It's probably the 30-acre horse paddock.
Oh,
I know
okay.
he's got a Cox. He's got a Cox commercial one.
Is it so big?
Um,
Oh, shit. Like that, is it?
He's just a fucking weirdo.
Oh, it's a dirty.
Yeah, I can smell it from here.
Oh, fuck off. Yuck.
So no, yeah, like if you're rocking into a 2-acre property, and you're like, fuck yeah, let's do the hard yards first, jump on the bit, right. Then you jump on the mower and you're like, fuck man, I reckon I wasted at least half an hour. So
If you undercompensate though, then you have to fucking go and get that snipper and fix it up if you can't get in with the
and you
mower.
wish you had like laser eyes where you can just be like,
Yeah, just like 6 or 7 little alfalfas, and you're like, yeah. Sometimes I've been, you know, so close to having like the perfect amount out.
Oh, you've
and
done
I've
the
had
finger
like
pull, haven't you?
I've done the finger pull. I'm like, nah, I'm not driving fucking 5 minutes that way and 5 minutes back. That 10 minutes, that's my poo time. So I'm not wasting that.
So look, that's obviously a scenario.
Yeah.
I think another scenario is overgrown jungles.
True that.
Doesn't matter how big they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes, man, like if you're going to take a bath in it, just get the mower in there first.
Yeah.
Get all that bulkiness out.
Because you're going to probably do a follow-up mow anyway to do a clean up.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I think, I reckon we're talking anything, say mid shin height.
Yeah.
I think, look, tons of people will just do the snipping first.
Yeah.
To just see what's in the lawn.
I do a lot of stuff like when I do development blocks as well. I'll probably mow first too.
Absolutely. Development blocks?
Yeah.
Fuck, don't even snip them. Just fucking
Just really fucking push the boundaries with your fucking machine hanging over retaining walls.
just jump on the lawn shed and get the fucking Roundup out.
Yeah. Psst, psst, psst. Oh, actually, that's probably a good point too. Like, a roundup trip, you know, takes just as long as a snip. So I've got a few customers that have said, "Oh, you can just round up the edges." I'd rather take the little hit and fucking snip them. I think the roundup is like a hit and miss. I think it's a bit ugly sometimes.
Yeah.
On development, like in certain, it's more residential lawns.
Well, I wouldn't.
Like,
Residential lawns, I wouldn't. But in
When I first started, so many people were like, "Oh, just poison the edges." I'm like, "Yuck, bro!" Like,
yeah. But even at my house, not in my yard.
yeah,
But I have an acre next door
Yep.
which is vacant. Like I'll always snip it.
yeah,
And then I always have those little conversations in my head, like, let's look out for future Benny. Just get
Yeah.
the Roundup out. You know, you don't
Yeah.
need to go nuts. You don't need to do fucking 200 off each boundary. Just a little 50 mil friendship one.
yeah.
Um,
I went to one of the acreages I got back this week was one that I did for 18 months previous. They sold up, and you know the new owners thought they could handle it, and they obviously just sort of it got too much for them. Workloads increased, blah blah blah. But anyway, I got there and I drove in and I was just like, like this is one of the most beautiful properties that I fucking have ever had, and they've like poisoned all the edges. That the dude who owned it previously put a fucking 1,000 square meters of Empire Zosia up the back. He put irrigation through the whole thing.
And to put it in context, this isn't. It's not 1,000 squares of like open field or anything. This is in amongst like rainforest.
Yeah,
trees and
it's like
shit.
it's a stunning property, and they've just been like, water bill's too high.
Would you ever like if you had that property? Like, would you ever like go down, put like a little rug down, and just like have a wank somewhere?
Fuck yeah! First day I fucking own it, I'd be like, everyone stay inside. I got to go and do something. I'd dig a hole and I'd impregnate the land. No, I wouldn't do that. I'd definitely have a wank somewhere though. Just especially in that shed. The shed's bigger than my fucking house. The shed's bigger than the house, like the land that my house is built on.
I wonder if all dudes think the same way. Like when they walk into like a really awesome shed, it's like, oh man, I'd love to wank in here.
What could I fit in here, and where could I wank in here? Oh shit!
All the married dudes, anyway. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Any single dudes are probably like, oh, I'd be mad to have Rude in here.
Yeah, it'd be mad to fucking swipe right on someone in here. Fuck.
All the married dudes would just be like, oh man, can't wait to just fucking pull myself in here.
Yeah, you just look at the door, you're like, fuck, I wonder how good that lock is.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone can reach those fucking windows to see in.
I told you not to bother me while I'm cleaning my shed. And you just got your cock in the back of your mouth.
You open up a cupboard and a fake ass just falls out. You're just like, oh fuck.
Rusty with his homemade fleshlights. You just see him all just fucked up and minced.
Yeah, you just like fucking let it go, man. Just fucking get a glove and some Vass or something. That thing's fucked.
Our show is so fucked up.
Yeah, we're cool.
Oh no, the button's not working.
Oh no,
again.
I'm just not pressing it hard enough. Oh no, I'm pressing it hard enough. I just don't have the fucking thing turned up.
So is there any other works that you can think of? Obviously, you know, we sort of talked about the hedging and the blowing and things.
The weeding.
Like, you know, how to do things in certain orders. But
Yeah.
is there any other examples that you have that just make sense?
Yeah, look, I think the whole thing is it does change depending on the machinery you're using as well.
How so?
Look, if
Talk
you
to me.
if you
Preach.
are if you're using a 0-turn, I think it's completely different to using a pushy, especially. You know how everyone thinks that side discharge and mulch is the same thing.
Oh my
Fucking
goodness.
Oh my god. Yeah, they're completely different, and you know, you can use the 0-turn to your advantage if you want to just cruise across and side discharge hedging straight back under. I would normally do it in 2 steps because I've always got a shoot blocker. I would shoot block the first run, then I'd do a little loop and I'd come back and I'd just discharge it straight under the hedge. And
I wonder if we ever done an episode on like cutting corners and like tricks.
That's a fucking good one.
Because even though, you know, I wouldn't necessarily want to be, you know, I wouldn't want to, you know, be advertising or advocating.
Portraying ourselves as fucking dodgy. But time is money. Like cutting corners doesn't mean you're doing a bad job.
It's always reflective of whatever it is that you're charging, which is, you know, potentially what the customer wants.
Yeah.
So I'll give everyone a heads up just quickly. When I built and designed the Catch Pro, at the time it was realistically for just this one client, and I've talked about this before, and it was like a 1 acre property, all landscaped, and you know, there were times where we had push mode this, like for years we push mode, right? And eventually we had sort of gotten to the point where yes, we were using 0-turns on a regular basis, and we had never used mulch kits, so we were doing things like I call it strategic mowing.
Yeah.
So you sort of, this little section you can shoot under that hedge. This little section you can kind of, you know, push all the grass to one side, and you may have to rake, rudder. But, you know, eventually we evolved and we got the Catch Pro, and then, you know, we could just go to a normal mowing style where you mow 2 strips up here, 2 strips there, and you go back and forth,
Yep.
catching the grass. Fucking Bob's your uncle. But there was one spot where this grass was just deceivingly thick.
Oh, yeah.
And you could hit it with the Catch Pro. You could.
Was that next to the driveway?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like it never really looked like the grass needed mowing.
Yeah.
But fuck me if you didn't take 2 Catch Pros out of like I'm talking like 20 or 30 square.
Yeah, it's not much. Like I remember that property and they ended up putting hedges down the side, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
Now
they never had those back in the day.
Now every once in a while in summer, I would get a little bit sneaky and just be like, oh man, I'm just gonna side throw at least some of this under the hedge. Now, I don't love it. I don't think it's great, but there are areas
It depends on the finish.
It does. There's areas that you can get away with it.
Yeah.
And you do have to watch out for future self.
Yeah.
Because one day, like especially if you've got weeds coming up and stuff like that, it's,
It all depends on the garden bed. It depends on what kind of day it is. Like if it's been raining, it's fucking no because from experience, you shoot wet grass up against the hedge, that shit sticks.
Oh man,
that's like fucking shooting green loads all
like
over.
It's like a grass bukkake and a spidey in the same.
Yeah, exactly. It's it gets pretty ferocious. And then like you come back the next week and you just see fucking. It looks like Christmas decorations all across the bottom half of a hedge, and they're like, "Oh,
now
fucking
I know
past BJ did me wrong."
Now I know we've both had workers that were serial
corner cutters.
Oh yeah, man. And I'm talking
I had fucking corner cutters. I had weed trimmers. I got fucking.
but I'm talking about specific. Well, so weeding, that's one thing.
Yeah.
What might take you 10 minutes to just. Okay, let's grab the bulkiness of those weeds out. Fuck it. We can do it in 60 seconds with the whippersnipper. It's like, when times are intense and there's certain garden beds you can do it where it can look good.
Yeah.
There's just others where, man, it's like, man, it doesn't work.
For me to do it, I'm like, okay, I got to be justified in doing it. If I'm doing a snip on a weedy patch, it's because I got something to do. I got something next. But if you're employing someone to specifically weed a patch and they're like, no, fuck that, I'm not hand weeding this shit, and they just bip through it, then that's fucked up. And I think that's where like it's a fair call. Like from me to them, 100% hand weeding is dog shit. I fucking hate it. Obviously
I still love it, eh? Look, when I say
it depends. If it's a good, like if you can hand weed efficiently and it's just, they're just coming out. But imagine hand weeding right now, it'd be a fucking dog. Like the ground is so dry, shit's cracking up. So, those roots are fucking deep and that'd be just horrible to pull out.
Look, I think if you're snapping them for one, it's just like,
Yeah, why don't you just snip? May as well take fucking 2 minutes.
But I just know, like, if you're doing it at the same time, just constantly over a garden bed, the mulch and just everything dissipates. Like it becomes, it just be like you're taking the life of the garden away.
Yeah.
By constantly snipping through
it's
there.
True.
But then again, like
it depends on the job. It all depends on, because there's some people that don't give a shit. And there's some people that are really like one of the worst things I find is weeding rose gardens.
And
do you get itchy from roses? Like when they stab you?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just always found with roses, they don't properly penetrate. It's like they kind of just grab you. When you see your skin pulling, you're like, I'm motherfucker.
Yeah, why are you doing this to me?
Sort of like a barbed wire effect. Where it like doesn't.
True.
It's not like a proper thorn that like will go in and out.
Yeah.
It's like a thorn that will just go in a little bit and be like, you'll come with me.
Yeah. Yeah, we're one now.
So it's one thing I just don't miss.
Yeah.
At all. And it's always like nutgrass and shit.
Oh,
Mullumbimby cooch.
Or
I don't know if they got that shit everywhere, but it looks like nutgrass.
It's fucking all over the place. Actually, that's one thing at that acreage that I just snagged back this week. is one thing they have done is they've kept on top of the weeds pretty good. Like some weeks when it was,
It's been winter, motherfuckers.
yeah, I know. Well,
They are no weeds.
well, I mean, they've only been there for 7 months, so they haven't seen a lot of what summer has to offer, especially a wet summer. Because previously, the guy who owned it, like he had the floods, and there was sometimes we would fucking be snipping for like 4 hours because there's patches we couldn't mow, but they were so out of control, you just had to do it.
Yeah.
So these guys have been pretty lucky so far, but yeah, that's one good thing I think about this industry is there's lots of people that are moving up and buying bigger properties and they have no idea what they're getting themselves into. Even these people, like they came from 22 acres out at Umundi
Wow.
and they fucking got there and they were just like, holy shit, like this is intense. Like the way it's just so dense out all the gardens, like there's so many different things. Like people can brag, oh, I mowed 22 acres. It's like, yeah, well, you can do that in a day. But then you come to one property, you got to weed, you got to fucking hedge, you got to do this, and this. And it could be, this one's only 2.5 acres and it takes longer to do that property than it does to do like a 22 acre fucking mow.
Oh, yeah.
So-
I'm the same here. Like,
Oh, yeah, you would be.
My last place was half an acre, but I just had gum trees everywhere. And like just cleaning leaves constantly. There was nothing more than I love to just see a clean area.
Yeah.
And oh man, I had to work for it.
Well, we got 2 mango trees now and they're fucked. Like they're all flowering at the moment and the possums are fucking each other hard in there and they're just falling down and they're fucking,
I just
so
remember
gross.
mowing over mango seeds, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Da-dunk, da-dunk. You
Da-dunk.
just hear them.
Yeah,
like,
well,
when they dry
lucky-
up.
We got so many possums rolling around our hood. Their fucking mangoes don't get a chance. We had one that was, like a size that maybe you could have pulled off the tree. And this is from 2 mango trees. 1 mango. That's how fucking ferocious the fucking possums are. Like,
I fucking love mango season, eh?
me too.
It's just the best.
Except for when you have to like literally go somewhere where no one
It reminds me
picks
of,
up any mangoes and you just
It reminds me of when I was a kid, like, I guess we were kind of bummy, and we used to just climb mango trees and just with a knife and just fucking hack them to part. Just fucking, yeah.
my fave's mandarin trees. I just fucking sit there until I get diarrhea. I used to come home with shopping bags full. Even now, my mother and father-in-law are away for 5 months on a cruise, and they've got lemons, limes, oranges, and mandarins, and their trees are fucking pumping. And my sister-in-law lives there, and she's like, yeah, I haven't even been in the backyard. I'm like, oh, cool. So I go out there and I'm just like harvesting like a fucking homeless man, just like, bah! So I walk out with like 3 shopping bags full of fruit. I come home and Lou's like, what the fuck are we going to do with that, you fool? I'm like, oh, no. Then I got to start fucking eating.
Yeah.
Hey, low calorie.
So with the, like, can you think of, I know we've just gone off topic so many times.
Sorry about that.
My apologies. Is this topic, does it only relate to hedging and snipping, pal?
Oh, look, other things we do, like when we're
'Cause it's not
doing
like-
tree work and shit like that, trimming trees.
Because it's not like if you had branches to remove or rubbish to remove or something. It's not like you would, let's say you've got a pile of rubbish out the back.
Yeah.
And you're mowing as well.
Yeah.
It's not like you mow the front lawn and then drag all that fucking rubbish over your
No.
freshly mowed shit.
That's
You know
exactly
what I mean?
right. I think like you can also put procedures on mulching. Like you don't just roll up with the fucking wheelbarrow load of mulch, chuck it in and walk away. Like we always prep the garden. Even on our biggest villages, we always weed them. Even though it's a time consuming thing, we trench.
And you dig the whole perimeter down
Yeah, you give
50
it
to 100 mil.
Yeah.
So that it gives when you're, installing your new mulch, instead of having that shit just fall over the edge of the garden bed, she's got a little trench to fall into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
It's really
you can
important on
keep it-
slopes.
You can keep it all seated.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Like I always trench all my gardens now, and
it's brutal.
Oh, it's a fucking painful thing to do, but it just leaves such a nice finish. And then, like, you know, a rake will only detail so much. I think like hands and knees. Like, what's your procedure for mulching? Because you've done just as much as me now. Like,
Yeah,
fucking.
I'm gonna get. I'll answer that. Before we do, I want to talk about a new sponsor to the podcast.
Oh yeah.
So they're called RIVNUT, and I'm actually a long time consumer or purchaser.
Yep.
I get all my hardware from RIVNUT
Yep.
for the Catch Pros and all various products, but they now have a skull code.
Nice.
And they are selling some battery tools, you know, different rivet guns and nut serters, and they've got a bunch of air tools as well. But if you're a landscaper or a chippy
Yep.
out there listening, they've got all your tech screws, your roofing screws, all of your hardware, anything that you could possibly look for. They do also have access to, you know, certain trailer parts as well, like just little bits of hardware,
Yeah,
you know, whether
nice.
it's the C-clips and, you know, things like that. So now everybody can go to rivnut.com.au and use our skull code, and check him out on Instagram as well. They're, you know, the dude, he's a great bloke.
Yeah.
And really down to earth and everything, but he's just getting new to social media. So
Yeah.
he's always had a warehouse. And now, you know, basically just from conversing with me, because he's seen Catch Pro grow.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like a couple of years ago, I would order, you know, like 500 rivets or something.
Yeah.
And now, you know, we order 7,000 or 10,000 at a time.
So he's like, oh shit, there's something to this social media thing.
And the nut serters are just awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't actually know what a nut cert was before Catch Pro.
Yep.
But
Well, to be honest, neither did I.
yeah,
Watching it happen, I'm like, whoa.
I mean, I even nut certed one of my Catch Pro brackets onto the Skag at one point because we were doing so much prototyping.
Yeah. Just makes
You know,
sense.
just grabbing the nuts all the time.
Yep.
You know, so I permanently nut certed some threads in there.
Yep.
So I could just run the bolts.
That's pretty cool.
You know, and it goes a little bit against what, you know, I think, you know, people don't want to be changing out applications and taking out, you know, mulch kits and putting Catch Pro brackets on and stuff. But look, sometimes if that's what your business requires, nut certing, you know, is awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, like a lot of people need to change their rigs up for different seasons, so might actually be something to look into.
Yeah, so you know, if you're doing retaining walls, or, you know, if you're a contractor out there that has any sort of hardware involved, jump on rivnut.com.au, use the skull code, and they're awesome. They'll ship anywhere in Australia.
Oh, so they do shipping, and do they have like a storefront as well?
There is a storefront. They have moved. They were local to me. Now they're at Cooper's Plains.
Ooh.
So I used to just roll down there.
Yeah.
Now he's online.
Yeah.
So that's how I place my orders now.
Sweet.
So they'll ship anywhere.
Too easy. I think that's the way a lot of things are going. Like, especially if you're really punching hard in business, like you don't want to have to be fucking driving, you know, 25 to 40 minutes down the road to go and see someone for something that you could order online, get it delivered to your door, unless you need it that day. But shipping is so quick these days after Kofifi fucked off. Shipping, some things are like overnight. Oh, I see my wife doing like online orders, and then fucking next day she's like, "Oh, my stuff is here."
Yeah,
I'm like, "What the fuck?"
People who are set up and have commercial accounts, shipping is great.
Yeah, and I mean, like, obviously, one of the biggest props that people give Catch Pro is the speed that you guys ship stuff out.
Yeah, well, we don't really, like, if we've got it in stock, we don't just look at the order and, you know, do nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll do that tomorrow.
There is no reason not to. The only time that we won't do it is if we get an order after 1 or 2 o'clock.
Yeah, because it's it's not going to get picked up anyway.
No, it's not going to get picked up.
Yeah.
But you know, if orders are rolling in, and
like in every business, I think.
Why not just pack it? And get it out for the couriers.
Yeah, exactly.
You only have to do it tomorrow anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's awesome. Welcome, RIVNUT.
Yeah, and probably something else to compare it to as well. Like, I kind of hate to do this, but, you know, if you're looking at hardware like that's at Bunno's or your mom and pop hardware stores, which barely exist anymore anyway.
Yeah.
Like I used to get my hardware from Bunnings.
Yep.
And you're buying dinky little packs of 6, countersunk screws or
Yeah.
whatever.
Go and buy like 6 timber screws and it's like $48. I was like,
So
fucking hell.
it's legitimately like a tenth of the price.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, they're look, they are a bulk store.
Yep.
But if it's, if you're spending 20 or 30 on hardware, they'll still do that.
Cool.
So rivnut.com.au, check them out on Instagram. The page is very young. They're going to
Help them out.
start showing.
You could become the new RIVNUT fucking influencer.
Yeah,
someone
anyone
on
else?
there
Yeah,
who
absolutely.
uses it.
They'll be down to use content because the dude is, it's not familiar to him.
Yeah, cool.
So
Awesome.
all right, now what I was going to get back to was something that sort of just I believe you asked me a question. Do you remember
About mulching. About
Okay,
mulching.
about
Like, what's
mulching.
your procedure?
All right, so I could talk about that, and then maybe I can piggyback into what I was getting into.
Okay.
But have you ever had workers where it's like they just are reluctant to use their hands because they think that there's a tool for every job?
Yes.
And I'm learning some of this now because we're doing some renovations around.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, I've got to cut this piece of wood. Let's get the circular saw or, whatever. And kind of what I'm sort of learning with that too is like sometimes things are just better done the old school way.
Yeah. Do you mean like getting out a handsaw?
Getting out a handsaw and, even chiseling bits and pieces, like I know that we always promote let's work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
But, when we're talking about garden works, and there's all sorts of weeders and these little rakes and stuff. And I think sometimes we have to get back to basics.
Yeah.
And Russell is the most perfect example. Like that dude is not afraid to get down on his hands and knees and use his hands to just do a job properly.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about like mulching and preparing gardens, so normal works is let's get all the weeds and let's get all the leaves out.
Yeah.
Now, usually, if it's like a really, bad job, yes, you'll whip a snip. Yes, you'll get a rake and you'll start raking. You'll get the blowers out, rah, rah, rah. But all of that leaf matter that is caught, around the roots, low-hanging branches, mate, sometimes you just have to fucking go in there with your hands, have a bin next to you and just pull it all out because when you go and reinstall that mulch and if you're trying to hide stuff, there's nothing worse than when you're trying to detail and the shit's just coming through.
It's coming to the surface.
Because the only way that you could get away from that then is to just keep adding more mulch.
Yeah.
So I, my procedure, that's usually my procedure is I also like it depends if it's in the code or not, but like just dead limbs.
Yeah.
Like if you.
So canopy lift sort of.
Canopy lifting and just pruning, general pruning. Like if you've got, I can't really.
It just freshens everything, like azaleas and stuff like that.
Deadheading as well. Because what's
like,
actually going to happen as well, if you're mulching in spring, especially in Brisbane. So this is one thing I noticed at the village. And it might have been our first year or possibly second year, but really old school village, and they had azaleas everywhere.
Yeah.
Now azaleas I'm just gonna say Brisbane.
Yeah.
Are all very prone to a particular disease that makes the leaves look fucked.
Yeah.
And really the only way to overcome it is to treat it and really prune everything back.
Yeah.
And then that way all your new growth will come through. But one thing I noticed when we mulch, especially in September, is that all the nutrients from the mulch and, the bed being reinvigorated and everything, it makes those flowers come out hard.
Yeah.
And so many people said to us, like, we have not seen the azaleas pop like this in like almost a decade.
Yeah.
And it's a really, it sounds kind of fruity, but
that's good.
I used to get so much satisfaction just from seeing everything blooming like them.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So, deadheading, like if you're doing a mad mulch job, you got like agapanthus or hippeastrums in
Birds
there.
of paradise.
Fucking ginger. Ginger.
Turn that fucker up.
Fucking hell. Birds of paradise, mate. And you can kook it hard because if you're not pruning properly, then you end up with like, the little stuff, like just...
just an ugly stump with 3 leaves jumping out. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Lots of people will look at a birds of paradise and they'll say, okay, let's go from the perimeter in.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's actually easier to go from the inside back out.
That's how I roll.
And so that you are just thinning it out and you're leaving the bulkiness there.
Yep.
And you're just cutting off all the dead shit.
Yeah, I only take the dead stuff. I never try and, unless there's a space issue, I'll never like take the outside because that's the first thing people see is the base.
I remember me and Rusty used to have like a little, because, Rusty, he had no experience in gardens before, but he has a very good idea of what looks good and what presents well. And I just remember always seeing him like fighting, let's say, the good growth to get to the bad growth.
Yeah.
And I would always tell him, mate, sometimes there is collateral. And, like sometimes you have to trim a nice one just to get to the fucked one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's pretty hard for me.
We'd just be trimming away, and you just hear collateral. Collateral.
I'll be like hanging over.
There's another collateral here, Benny.
Sorry. No, like I'll be in trying to get the middle, all the deadies from the middle, and my big tummy's just like resting on something, and I stand up and I've like snapped a nice flower. I'm like, oh, then I gotta give it the old collateral.
Or like golden canes.
Oh god. Best thing you ever did. Get rid of those fuckers.
Oh, mate. My mate Tyson, man, he loves palms.
Ugh.
And he's always craning in these palms to jobs.
Yeah.
Loves his golden canes too. And man, like, I look.
I don't mind a little foxtail.
Foxtails are beautiful.
Yeah.
They're a nice palm.
Yep.
They're
not invasive. They're, what are they like? 10 meters up, 3 meters wide. They self-clean. They just look nice.
Yeah, but then they're expensive.
Yeah, they are. I'm quoting like 12 at the moment.
Golden canes, man, like anytime you dive into a golden cane, and I'm not sure how prominent they are in other states, but Queensland, they're fucking everywhere.
They are everywhere, and they are fucking
It is
crazy.
Just, every time you start messing with clumps of golden canes, you have so many hazards like spiders, fucking snakes.
Yeah.
I mean, those huntsmans, man.
Oh, dude, I've shit myself. They're so quick.
Like the size of your fucking hand.
Yeah, yeah. And then those bigger palms that don't self-clean and you got to go up.
Those Alex.
Yeah.
I think they're the Alex palms.
Yeah, they're fucking hideous. And then you pull one off and there'll be a spider the size of a fucking dinner plate in it, and you're like, I'm going to get raped here.
And then bloody with the little nuts.
Yeah. It's nothing worse than being up a ladder and shitting yourself. It's just like twice as scary. Everything's like you just have very little control, especially when you're so fucking oddly shaped like me. Especially when you're by yourself too, it's like, catch me. Imagine Will trying to catch me falling off a ladder. Imagine you trying to catch me falling off a ladder.
No, but with golden canes, I remember I always had like a little rule when I started pruning.
Yeah.
Anything that touches my face is getting cut right now. You know what I mean? Like just so that you've got a decent workspace to work in.
I'm not going to lie though, golden canes look nice when they're completely thinned out and they're individual.
Okay, so it's funny because that's the way I always used to roll, right?
Yeah.
Cut out all the skinny shit.
Yeah, see a lot of people go opposites.
Leave some marquee sort of stuff.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is like your 4 main trunks. But then I started flipping it up later on because people do plant these for privacy, right?
Yeah.
And I started again working for the first rule is to get all your dead shit.
Yeah.
And all your shit that I actually have a word for it. I can't use it on air, but all your stuff that's kind of just hanging out, not where it's supposed to be. That's
Yeah.
sort of where you start. Then I used to go. I went back to the bird of paradise where it's like, all right, let's work from the outside in.
Yeah.
And then that way you still have some green growth. It kind of looks vigorous. You get
Yep.
a little bit of privacy, and also it's actually easier on the operator when you're doing these jobs because we
Yeah.
know how these golden cane quotes could blow out.
Yeah, big time.
Like whatever you're thinking in your head, like times two, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I got told by an arborist. It's like golden canes and fucking mango trees of all things. Like double them straight away. Yeah,
No, I hadn't heard of that about mango trees. But
yeah.
golden canes.
Joshy told me that. He said because I asked him to come and quote to trim mine. He goes, "Whatever you think it's gonna be, double that shit." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
okay.
fuck.
So look, it's always going to come down to what the customer wants.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's one thing I certainly don't miss. And I've got some golden canes here, and they are here for privacy.
Oh, do you still have some left?
I got some. In the
Oh,
backyard.
just out the back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they're there for privacy, so I don't go full nuts on them.
Yeah.
But you know, mate, summertime,
Mm.
like they just start going like, "Ah, it's fucking hot. I'll just drop everything and fucking fuck up Ben's
Then the
life."
bat starts shagging in there when the seeds come and
Fucking Mocker and Humphrey, they just sit down there.
oh, do they?
Like dusk, like
Yeah.
6 o'clock on a summer,
Yeah.
or even a bit later, 7. That's when all the possums start fucking going mental, and they just sit down because they fall out.
Yeah. Oh, snack time. Fucking
Yeah.
chicken 1 week, fucking possum the next. Yeah, our neighbours have got the big ones that have the big seeds that don't self-clean. So they've just got all these fucking dead palms. And like, you know what? There's nothing nicer than laying in your pool, floating and looking up at a nice palm. But when you're looking up and you're seeing this palm that's got like fucking 10 dead fronds just hanging down, like it's the saddest thing on earth. It's like, oh,
I
gross.
may have told this story a while ago, but if anyone remembers Brownie from Brownie's Coast Watch,
Certainly do, yeah.
he lived in my suburb, and way back, Shorey landscaped his place,
Oh, true.
and absolutely gorgeous place.
Yeah, nice.
Really loves his plants, loves his gardens.
Yeah.
but did not like to work in it
Yeah,
at
fair
all.
enough.
And he had palms everywhere, and he had this little dog that would eat the seeds and then get crook. And our job was to, anytime you see those palm seeds
Yeah.
come out, nip them straight off.
Yeah.
And man, I just remember being young lad, like maybe 18 or 19 when I worked for Shorey, and Brownie just pulling me aside and showing me on a palm when you can start to see it bulging out the side,
Yeah.
like a little hernia.
Yeah.
That's when she's coming out.
Yeah.
And
You still got a while before the fucking seeds develop on those things.
no, but like it's not. He doesn't
He
even
fucking wants them.
He doesn't want
all.
to know about the seeds. So when it starts bulging, okay, that's when we know she's going to come out very soon. As soon as it's out, you cut that motherfucker off.
Oh, you're just in the back of your head,
And-
just like, get fucked, Brownie.
Oh, God, you know, like, you fucking
Eat a
old
fat,
cunt.
yeah, eat a fat dick, Brownie. Where's me beer money?
And he was the type of dude too, like, and I'm sure he just saw me as a young punk kid.
Yeah.
But, you know, like he'd backhand you. You know,
Yeah.
if you fucked up in his garden. You
Oh.
know, like he's from the old school.
Yeah, nice.
You know, for someone who was on TV and things like that, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say he's a people person. So, anyways, back then there were no pole saws.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're doing the fucking old
Oh,
school
with the
fucking
Fiskar stick.
donkey wank fucking thing. Or, you know, the little ones with the rope, the little
Yeah, yeah, the little snippers.
you know.
Yeah.
Which was all good. But I'd fucked up during one service or whatever. And so, you know, Brownie was like, oh, well, I'll just fucking call Shorey at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa.
And dead set called him at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, you know, that fucking Ben worker missed these fucking palms. Just letting you know about it. And boy, did I fucking cop an earful when I got to
Oh,
work.
fucking bet you would've.
Holy shit.
3 o'clock in the morning. That's a fucking dog act, though. Just
Yeah.
goes to show he's not a people person.
Just goes to show you don't fuck with Brownie.
Yeah, you don't fuck with maybe. Well, yeah, I thought it was don't fuck with curses. Don't fuck with Brownie.
Anyways, I reckon we're getting ready to wrap this thing up. But before we do, let's run a plug for Bad Workwear.
Yeah.
A special thanks to Bad Workwear. Put up a last minute.
Yeah,
prize.
last minute prize. That was awesome.
So-
Fucking, I was like, I didn't know about it. I was like, whoever wins, go and see Ben. You got the email, so.
Yep. So we sorted that out, and the winner is now repping some new Bad gear.
Oh fuck yeah.
And you know, it's a great time to, you know, I always like the best times to start looking at workwear.
Yeah.
Is the season changes, you know, because you know when it's starting to get cold, it's like, oh fuck yeah, you can get some new hoodies or puffer vests.
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what always happens.
And same thing when summer rolls around. Hey, let's get some fresh shorts.
Yeah. Well, I took the opportunity for with mower merch, having Will come up. I was just like, I'll buy a bunch of shirts now. He can bring them with him. I spent $300 on shirts for all the boys. Yeah.
Actually, I probably should run an extra plug for mower merch, because when we were at the event, people were saying like, oh, people were coming to me for lawn care skull sessions shirts.
Yeah.
And they're like, that one that I think you might have been wearing.
Yeah, I was yeah.
And I was like, nah, man, you got to get them from mower merch.
Yeah.
So just so that people aren't confused, when you're on the website, there is mower merch category.
Yep.
You can go in there. That's just the mower merch stuff.
Yeah.
You got to go to mower merch X collab.
Yeah.
And that's where your branded
That's
shirts
us.
are.
So there's like a TBL shirt. There's
a bearded lawnsman
Yep.
shirt. There's Skull Sessions. There's Urban Turf. There's all your brands.
all your brands.
So all your favorite stuff.
I'm rocking Skag one right now.
Yeah. Do you want to actually just quickly?
Yeah, maybe I can turn around.
Turn around.
No, can people see over the?
Actually, what am I wearing?
What are you wearing?
I got a Scullies.
Yeah,
on, but
nice.
I got a jumper on. So.
Yeah, you got a jumper on. So they're fucking sick. You can see the sort of so the story is like Nicole is Will's partner, and she does all the design, and all the designs came through us as well. So
And they're rad as, man.
yeah. So the Skull Session shirt looks a lot like our new backdrop that was supplied by Mower Merch. And
TBL one, actually, if you're watching
yeah,
on
yeah,
YouTube.
TBL. There's a bit of bearded lawnsman flow on it as well.
And obviously the Mower Merch logo. Now, we do have some other stuff coming as well that Mower Merch is going to organise. We're looking at like a forest green or some sort of shade of green. Not like real gnarly
Like
green.
bottle green.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it industry specific.
Yeah.
But we're going to have like a Landscape Pro shirt.
Ah, cool.
And it's not going to be like your full rad style.
Like an army green.
Not an army green.
Not an army
no,
green.
like Bad has the army green.
Yeah.
and it's good.
Yep.
But we don't want to do something that
They're
you
already
can
doing.
already get.
Yeah.
So it's going to be more of a shirt that is more than respectable to wear on site.
Yep.
Could even be used as a quoting shirt.
Yeah, nice.
Just it's not going to be like full loud. It's basically just going to be a nice green shirt with a little Landscape Pro logo.
Archie and I are actually the models for the Father's Day shirts, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't see.
Did you?
Has that been?
No, I posted on all my socials.
Oh, maybe I saw a photo of you two, but maybe I just didn't.
Yeah, well,
realise.
they've posted a few things too, but
I saw. Are you guys facing the?
yeah,
opposite?
facing the camera, and then
Okay.
we've got one from behind as well.
Okay, so maybe I just didn't recognize that it was.
Nah, they're cool. Especially like that's one thing that I've always been after for my kids is like shirts that I like to rock as well. So look a bit weird. We all go out.
I can't do that because I don't have a son.
Nah, you girls are just as capable of wearing a bloody Skag shirt or a Skull Session shirt.
Yeah, Vicky's not into it, eh?
Oh,
That's all right.
okay, yeah, fair enough.
I'll just start wearing a dress.
Yeah. Flip the script, bruh. No, but yeah, Bad Workwear. I actually said to Lou last night, I got to get some new socks. So I'm gonna punch a bunch of new socks because their bamboo socks are the bomb. So good, I love them.
They got bamboo undies now too, dudes,
Yeah.
and they're coming out with some Sheila's underwear soon as well.
Oh, nice. I might try some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Rub my pussy. All right. Until next week, we will see you then. I'm at Cash Pro. He's at TVL, and we're out of time. Thank you.
Yeah.